What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about what cards I think could become more, or at least have a lot of value driven to them due to scarcity in the future. And I'm not talking about financial value, although that may come, but this is not financial advice. This is more game advice. And I'm specifically looking at a certain class of cards, which if you've watched my previous videos, you might have heard me talk about this already, but Riftwatcher common cards at this point in time are set to be some of the most scarce cards that are going to be in the future of Modern. And what I mean by that is they are actually, if you combine them and max them out with the total circulating supply, right now they are less than all of the other rarities for Riftwatchers, and then of course everything else that has come along in the Chaos Legion set, right? The core, rewards, all of that. So as we look at it, you know, there's been about 230,000 of these common cards printed across obviously all the different cards. And so when you divide that by 400 BCX in order to max, you get less than 600 copies. And I'll tell you this, I think that there's more than 600 people playing in Diamond, right? And even for those trying to stretch, that doesn't include people who are only maxing it out for silver or gold, right? So that number shrinks down dramatically the more and more, you know, we get people to the higher levels. So what do I mean by this? Well, as we move forward, rotate Untamed out, I do believe that one of the biggest strengths that it's going to come down to, outside of whatever meta-changing things and meta-breaking things that Rebellion brings, is going to be who has the most complete collection. Because as it stands right now, Modern has been so difficult for the past year plus, just because anybody who doesn't have Untamed cards, which most people are priced out of due to the fact that there's not as many out there, right? And if you do want to get them, they're not cheap. They're the people that dominate the top of Modern. No matter what league you're in, when you start getting to the top of that league, bronze, silver, gold, all the way up, you start running into Untamed Summoners, Untamed Legendary Monsters, all those types of cards. So those will all be gone, and everybody will have access to the new Rebellion cards. But what we may not have access to, if we continue to burn Riftwatchers at the print rate that we're burning, or at the burn rate that we are, is Riftwatcher cards, Riftwatcher packs. So with that being said, less than 600 copies. Granted, I know we're probably going to buy more packs, you know, or buy more packs as a community between now and the burnout of Riftwatchers, which is still scheduled for December. But I don't think it's going to be anything significant. So maybe we get 700. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we can go crazy and get like 800 maxed copies. Again, I still don't think that's going to be enough. So as I look at these cards, you know, the list that I'm going to give you, or just the, you know, the cards that stand out to me the most, are pretty much the ones that are at the top of, you know, the rankings here. So obviously, first and foremost is Ash Mirage. Now, the thing about this card, you can see it's 41 cents for the, you know, the lowest BCX price versus 17 cents. So it is miles above everything else. But I would say that this card, out of the others, actually will probably devalue. It's probably overpriced right now because people have to go up against what's his name? Against Jotun, where they won't have to do that as much in the future. So I can see this kind of being overpriced right now, or maybe it's appropriately priced because people have already maxed theirs out. And you can see the circulating supply is only 30,000, 30,800 versus the other ones that are still 34, 33, 33, 36. So people have gone, right, and maxed out their copies of this card because they've needed to. So in a way, this, you know, Ash Mirage can almost be like predicting the future in terms of where these cards go. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not saying that the cards, you know, these other cards are necessarily going to get up in price to Ash Mirage. I'm actually saying that I think Ash Mirage might be a little overvalued, but simply due to the fact that people needed the card now and won't necessarily need it as much later. Again, we'll have to see what Rebellion brings, but that's, you know, this card is still one of the top ones in my opinion, regardless, just because you get headwinds at the first level. And then of course the ever so valuable Reflection Shield, which again is valuable now, but may not be in the future. Now, the other two cards that I'm going to take a look at will be these other, actually there's going to be 4 cards I'm going to look at. So Whelp Herder is another one that I really like. It's 3 mana, and you know, generally dragon cards, I don't want to say that they're cheap or expensive, but it's like 3 mana for 3 damage, plus you get Snare and Dispel. We know how powerful Dispel is right now with Bloodlust from the Gladiator cards becoming such a big deal and seeing more Bloodlust in just regular cards. So this is a card that I think as we move forward, as a lot of these Soulbound cards or Soulbound summoners start to get maxed out for people, and they may start throwing in a Korra in a Diamond or a Champion match, right? Because they'll throw a Soulbound summoner into the mix just because this Dispel, I think, is going to become much more valuable at the highest levels. So people will need this card for 3 mana Dispel. All right, 3 damage, 3 mana, 3 damage, and Snare, I mean, obviously is a fantastic ability as well. So let's go back here. This is another card, Bramble Pixie. So you can see I'm obviously going through all the top ones, right? But what I love about this card, and I don't even have it at this level yet, is the reach position, right, with self-heal. So I don't have the card at this level, but I get beaten by it all the time in a lot of poison rule sets, for example, because I'm not necessarily targeting anybody in the reach position or don't have any blast damage. So, you know, this unit is able to heal itself relatively easily with just the 2 damage taken from either an earthquake or poison every round. And granted, you know, it's at 10 health, so it heals 3 every turn. If you're able to get it buffed up another 2 health, it'll actually heal 4 every turn. So this is a card that I think, you know, will have value and utility across the board. And no matter who the tank is, I think people will be rushing in for it. All right, the last one I'm going to share here, although you could probably apply this to a lot of the cards here, although, you know, at the end of the day, we'll see how people value them. This is a card I really like. Now, again, I don't have this card with the repair at level 6, but it's another one that to me is fantastic. Now, maybe you don't necessarily need to get it maxed out all the way. You know, one of the other videos that I made is like, I'm not even trying to max out Riftwatcher cards at this point. I'm just trying to get them to a place where I get, you know, certain abilities unlocked, which is usually at the gold level or level 6 for common cards. So, you know, maybe people just rush to max theirs out for gold, but I would say if you're playing at the highest leagues, having one that has the top speed, the top health, the top, you know, attack, it'll always go first too, right? If you have a level 10 versus somebody who has a level 9, yours will always go first. Level matters in this case. So these are the 4 cards that I want to just kind of share out there with you in comparison to where the rest of the Chaos common cards are. If you look at the core, you can see, you know, there's one card here, Scavo Hireling, that is 17 cents. And then, of course, Supply Runner is great at 13 cents, but everything else beyond that, you know, is kind of below the 10-cent range at this point, and there's a bunch of them out there. Whereas we know when people start to really get into Rift Watchers, and I don't think that's going to happen until, you know, Rebellion is announced and the switchover date for Modern is announced, that's when it's going to matter. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If there's any cards here that I missed, granted, you know, it's not that if I skip them, it's not that I don't like them. I really like Dumaki Orc as well, and even Time Meddler. Time Meddler is another one that you get awesome stuff later on with the Return Fire as well as Thorns at the highest levels. So, you know, these cards will all be very meta in my opinion. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.